The brightest light. We all seem to have a good idea that darkness is bad and light is good. The light of our eyes enables us to see, and blindness limits us and puts us in a situation where we do not know where we are or what is around us. Allah usually describes what leads to our success as the light and what leads to our destruction as darkness, as plural. Allah is the wali, protector or guardian of those who believe. He brings them out from darkness into light. But as for those who disbelieve, kuva, their awliya, supporters and helpers, are taghut, false deities and false leaders, etc., they bring them out from light into darkness. Wherewith Allah guides all those who seek His good pleasure to ways of peace, and He brings them out of darkness by His will unto light and guides them to a straight way, Islamic monotheism. This is a book which we have revealed unto you, O Muhammad, in order that you might lead mankind out of darkness of disbelief and polytheism into light of belief in the oneness of Allah and Islamic monotheism, by their Lord's leave, to the path of the Almighty, the owner of all praise. So what is the light? Allah explains it as follows. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of His light is as if there were a niche and within it a lamp. The lamp is in glass, the glass as it were a brilliant star, lit from a blessed tree, an olive, neither of the east, i.e. neither it gets sun rays only in the morning, nor of the west, i.e. nor it gets sun rays only in the afternoon, but it is exposed to the sun all day long, whose oil would almost glow forth of itself though no fire touched it. Light upon light. Allah guides to His light whom He wills. And Allah sets forth parables for mankind, and Allah is all-knower of everything. What is needed to light the fire of a lamp? Oil, wick and glass. The oil is fuel for the fire, the wick acts as a carrier, dampened with the oil unlit, and finally it is encased within a glass. What kind of light is Allah talking about? He tells about a light so bright, the fuel used is olive oil, but not just any olive oil, it is gotten from a tree so fruitful it gets its nourishment all day and night, 24 hours rather than only when the sun is up. As a result, the tree produces oil so luminous it almost wants to catch fire even before it is lit. When the wick is dampened with such oil, even before it is lit, it has already been encased in a glass so bright it resembles a brilliant star. So when the wick is put in oil so luminous, encased in a glass shining as bright as the stars, what is the result when it is lit? Allah calls it light upon light. This is the parable of faith, better known as Iman, the light of the believer. But how do we understand it? As a lamp consists of three materials to produce the light: oil to serve as fuel, the wick as a carrier for the fuel, and glass to encase it when lit, so also three things are needed to produce the light of Iman: knowledge to serve as fuel, motivation to serve as the carrier for the fuel, and a pure heart to manifest it. Knowledge is like the oil gotten from the tree of revelation. Allah revealed to His Prophet the knowledge from which we derived the Quran and the Sunnah. It's the knowledge of Allah, the reality of the world, our enemy the shaitan, the actions that bring us closer to him, the limits he has set, and so on. The knowledge acts as guidance for us, a guide to the path of eternal success. This is the book, the Quran, whereof there is no doubt, a guidance to those who are al-muttaqin, people conscious of Allah. But the knowledge alone is not enough. Many people have the knowledge, but the knowledge did not benefit them. Something needs to act as a carrier for the knowledge, and that is our motivation. Motivation is the wick. Just like the oil needs a wick to absorb it so that it can be ready to be lit, we need to have motivation, determination and will. As we know, when we lack motivation for something, we usually do not do that thing, even if we know it is good for us. Finally, the light needs a place to burn. That place is the heart. The pure heart has the qualities of glass. It is smooth to touch, firm and strong. It also has the qualities of accepting and reflecting light. When it hears the truth, it accepts it, acts on it and spreads it. And that those who have been given knowledge may know that this Quran is the truth from your Lord, and that they may believe therein, and their hearts may submit to it with humility. And verily, Allah is the guide of those who believe, to the straight path. The corrupted heart, however, has the qualities of stone. It is rough to touch, it is coarse, hard and dark as compared to the crystal. It neither accepts nor reflects light. Such a heart has no determination to worship, so even if called to Allah it will not listen, for it cannot hear it, and if light was put in it, the light will die, it cannot receive light. is he whose breast Allah has opened to Islam, so that he is in light from his Lord, as he who is not. So, woe to those whose hearts are hardened against remembrance of Allah. They are in plain error. So the pure heart, which has a strong will to worship Allah, fueled by the knowledge of the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger, the result is righteous good deeds, and it is the light of the believer, the light that will enable him to reach Jannah. The stone heart, on the other hand, is the heart that has been corrupted with sins. Its desire and motivation is for the worldly life and not Allah, even if it thinks otherwise. The knowledge that should fuel the actions is corrupted also by desires and falsehood. Consequently, it has no light, and cannot produce righteous good deeds. Such a heart might even seem to do good deeds, but there is no substance behind it, and when Shaitan conies to it, it is willing to obey him, and is led astray. Again, it is not Shaitan that leads people to their destruction, rather it is the corruption of their heart. Our willingness to worship Allah, especially if motivated and determined, is affected by what we desire. Our desire is based on what the heart has attached itself to. The heart will attach itself to what it knows. The actions of the believer are usually seen as strange, it is noticed in Ayyub and Zavid. But it is a cause for wonder in the likes of Muaz ibn Jabal, whose only reason for not wanting to die is so that he could fast in the hot days and pray in the cold nights. It is seen in Abu Hanifa who ran away from his town because he did not want to accept any position of authority. 7. The judge in his case. In Umar ibn Abdulaziz who was the ruler of the Muslim world of his time, and the people had so much money that they were looking for people to give money, and yet he chose a life of abject poverty. Different stories, all strange in their own way, begging the question of why would people want to do such things. But the answer is clear if you understand that their actions were because of their iman in Allah. The grateful heart does actions for Allah, and the corrupted heart does actions for the dunya. And it is only the people who are grateful that will succeed. The light is different for everyone, some brighter than others. It is affected by what we expose ourselves to, the books we read, the people we mingle with, the knowledge we know, the people who teach us, even the thoughts that we leave to wander in our mind. It's in our best interest that we work to perfect our light, to make it as bright as it can be, so that perhaps we would reach the station of those who are brought closer to Allah. The Great Escape. That failed.